Let's talk Northeast 10 softball today. Head up to Rindge, New Hampshire. We are joined by Franklin Pierce's Ashley Cangiano. She is the reigning player of the year in the conference. First off, congratulations on the career to date and the season to date. Is it still weird to hear somebody refer to you as player of the year and All-American?
Yes, for me, yeah, because I'm always talking about like it's last season, but I don't know. It's still cool to hear.
How did it happen?
I would say my team and my coaches. That's how it happened. And for me, it was my team pushing me every single day and me working with my coach every single day with hitting, with catching, and switching positions and getting those opportunities and what the teams gave me and just ran with it.
We'll come back to the defensive side of things in a minute, but I want to talk about the offense because last year you hit 13 doubles, 8 triples, 10 home runs. That's 31 extra base hits. That is double your production from your first 2 years of college. What clicked for you offensively?
For me, wow, I didn't know that actually. For me, I think it was coming into a different role because my freshman year I had two of the best hitters in the NE10, Gina Hinckley and Maddie Killebrew. And then my sophomore year, I also had Gina Hinckley. And for me, I think that I relied a lot on them to be those big players. And for me, stepping in as a junior, I really needed to step up as that player and be that person. So I think adding that pressure kind of gave me that drive to be that person, to be that player for the team.
It's one thing because obviously people know who you are, and when the season progresses, it's like, oh, she's having a great year. You've got to be careful with her. But when you come in as the player of the year and you're a returning All-American, like you're the first person on the scout, every pitcher is clearly aware of who you are. What's it like to hit with the target on your back every single game, game in and game out?
My coach actually prepared me for this because he told me again and after again, like, you're never gonna get your pitch, you're not gonna get your pitch, you're not gonna get your pitch over and over. So when we went down to Florida, I kind of had it was a little bit easier for me because not a lot of teams down there knew me. And so I'm just looking for my pitch every time. I'm just waiting for them to give me one in a day. But coming into conference, we haven't played conference yet, and they know me. So I'm looking for my one pitch in every at bat, and hopefully they give it to me, and I can drive it up the middle.
When did you notice people stop throwing you what you're wanting?
Last year, I got intentionally walked my first time in, I want to say, Arizona, and that's when I was like, oh no, I'm not getting what I want.
Does that make you a better hitter from the standpoint of having the discipline to wait for the one that you want and that is in the place you want that you can drive? Or does it make you a better hitter because you have to learn to hit things you don't like?
I think it adds to my confidence because as a hitter, you need all of the confidence to be able to hit any pitch. And I think that it adds to my confidence because I just got intentionally walked. I don't know what they're thinking, but it makes me feel good. But I think that in some sense that like they can mess up. So I'm waiting for them to mess up every time because if they're throwing me, if I don't like inside, I'm waiting for them to throw me an inside pitch. If I want outside, I'm waiting for them to mess up, go inside instead of going inside, going outside. Does that make sense?
100%.
I'm just waiting for the errors every
Um,
time.
it's not easy because you're trying to do all of that while doing what you need to do defensively. Tell me about your responsibilities on that side of the diamond.
For me, my first 2 years, I was in right field and I loved it. Didn't have to think about anything. I relied on all the other outfielders. But coming into catching, I had a lot more to learn. So for me, I wanted to rely more on my arm because I'm better at throwing runners out than blocking the ball. So I make up for it, but I try to be the leader on the field by being that loud player, being the passion of the team, and they're all looking at me because I'm the catcher. So I have to really step up in that role to keep everyone calm, even though I'm probably the craziest player on the field. But for me, I try to just keep my body good for the team, blocking everything, doing what I can for my pitchers and for my team.
Had you caught before?
I caught in like my whole life. Like
Okay.
I came into college telling him I want to just be in the outfield, and he told me to bring my gear. So 3 years later, I was in the catcher spot, so I did whatever he needed me to do.
You did the Bryce Harper and then the reverse Bryce Harper. Uh,
Yeah.
would you consider yourself, because like, so I grew up in the era of Mike Piazza. Um,
Okay.
would you consider yourself a catcher who hits or a hitter who catches?
A hitter that catches 100%. I honestly don't know what I'm doing half the time when I'm catching. I rely on my hitting. I wouldn't be the catcher if I wasn't hitting.
What's it feel like to throw somebody out?
It's the best feeling ever. It's like, ah, gotcha. I knew you were coming. It's a very good feeling because then I just helped out my pitcher. My shortstop looked cool, and it's just an overall. Everyone gets hyped. There's not a time someone doesn't get hyped when a catcher throws someone out.
When did you get into softball?
When I was 5 years old, my dad signed me up for like rec league softball.
When did you fall in love with softball?
I would say a little bit after that. My dad was a big baseball guy, so he loved that I was a softball player, and he pushed me to it, and he made me fall in love with it by his passion of it. And then in middle school, I started watching the College World Series, and that's when I loved it forever.
Who did you look up to?
Sierra Romero, she was on Michigan softball, and she was one of the best hitters ever to play.
What stood out? Like, what did you look up to?
I looked up to her discipline of the plate. She would only swing at her pitch. She still plays, and she's still the best hitter possible. And she's also not the biggest player. She's kind of smaller, and the way she used her power was unbelievable. And she drove every pitch she got.
Have you ever met her?
Yes, I have.
How'd that go?
It was awesome. I was wearing a Michigan softball sweatshirt, and I met her in Connecticut, and it was the best feeling ever. I felt like she was the biggest celebrity I've ever seen.
That was well scouted by you. Uh, what do you want to do when you're done at college?
I
You want to
want to go
play?
to no, I'm not going to play anymore. I would
If
love
if
to.
Athletes Unlimited called you and was like, "Here's a contract to give this a try," would you do it?
Oh, 100%. Are you kidding? 100%. I would love that.
What's next outside softball?
I'm not sure where, but I'm going to go to grad school for exercise science to be a strength and conditioning coach.
So stay around the game.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
What got you to go up to Rindge?
For me, I wasn't sure where I wanted to go. I was kind of in between like figuring out like it was my senior year. I was like, oh my goodness, like where am I gonna go? And I saw that one of our lacrosse players that I went to high school with, he committed to Franklin Pierce, and I like saw his Instagram post, and so I looked it up. There was a camp the next week. And so I came up to the camp, and I was like, where am I? Like, we're in the middle of nowhere. I have no clue what's going on. And I met Coach Klaus, and he was so inviting to me and was so nice to me. And I did my camp. The team was the loudest team I've ever experienced, the craziest team I've ever seen. And I was obsessed with them. I love them. And so they really got me here. But when I step on home plate, I looked up and you just see the mountain. And that's what sold me. I was like, this is beautiful. I love the team. The coach is really nice. And it just sold me.
And you got a whole lake too, so it's not that bad.
Yeah. The lake
Yeah.
is awesome.
Ashley, congratulations on your career to this point, and best of luck as you guys embark on conference play.
Thank you. Appreciate it.